What's going on? We've been doing videos about retirement country comparisons. We've done Portugal, we've done Mexico. Today is Thailand, and what keeps me in the Philippines. I'll start with the guy that we're going to call Mike, because I've heard some version of his story more than once now. And Mike did everything right. Got together his 800,000 baht, got his retirement visa, he moved to Chiang Mai, and, feels like a genius for about a year. And then Mike goes home to visit some family. He gets back. And he gets back late. That's right. He forgot to check in. Every 90 days, you need to check in with Thailand to make sure they know exactly where you're living. Yes, the 90-day address report. I know it doesn't sound like much, except for now Mike's got a fine. He's got a mark against him, and it's on his visa record. And now he's got an unpleasant afternoon at the immigration department explaining why, he just lost count of days. And that's what nobody tells you about when they're telling you how easy it is to get into Thailand. Getting in isn't the hard part. It's staying in cleanly year after year that's the stress part. This is what it looks like. Every 90 days while you're on that retirement visa, you have to check in with your address report. Not just once you arrive, every 90 days, forever. And there's no version of the visa where the requirement goes away, and no grace period built in for I was traveling or I forgot. It's just bam, fine, mark on your visa. It just sits there in the back of your head, that permanent appointment with the Thai government that a Philippines retiree simply doesn't have hanging over him the same way. Now, why does Thailand still have the reputation that it does? I mean, the non-immigration OA isn't a hard visa to qualify on paper. 50 years old, 800,000 baht in a Thai bank account. You can call that $22,000 or 65,000 baht a month in income. That's somewhere around 1,800 bucks. Definitely doable. Compare that to what we looked at with Mexico, compare it to the Portugal D7, and Thailand doesn't look unreasonable at all going in the door. But the thing is, going in the door, walking through it, that isn't living there. Past the deposit, the medical certificate, you've also got a mandatory health insurance requirement. And here's a wrinkle worth knowing. The minimum that you want on paper that they require is actually not enough to solve anything if anything serious happens. So guys end up stacking a private policy on top of the mandatory one, which quietly adds another, few $100s a month that nobody budgeted for when they were staring at that 800,000 baht number and thinking they'd solve the whole equation. Oh, and there's the tax situation now, because this one kind of changes the whole conversation. Up until 2024, you could look at Thailand as like a tax haven. They had a great reputation, basically didn't care at the time, what you did with the money that you earned outside the country. Not anymore. And that's why some of the Thailand retirement content is a little outdated online, because they're not thinking about it. It's not that tax haven it was at one time. Spend 180 days or more, and yeah, you're going to get taxed. Everything that you make. I'm talking about your retirement funds, Social Security, on top of the U.S. taxing your SSN. Thailand's going to do it too. So basically, if you're moving money into a Thai bank account to live on, and you're there most of the year, that money's exposed in a way it simply wasn't a few years back, because of course they changed it in 2024, as I said. There's a few options if you're living on the high end of the scale, the LTR visa. They want you to have $80,000 a year in passive income or $1 million sitting in a qualified asset. And if you have that with the LTR, you get 10 years and a flat 17% tax rate. Yeah. They also have a privilege card. It used to be called Elite. That just trades the income test for a membership fee starting around 600,000 baht. Neither one of those are built for a guy that's just looking for an affordable place to land. Those are kind of products that are for people that were really never sweating the finances in the first place. So let's get to what it actually costs to live there, because this is where the gap really shows up. Bangkok runs you condo prices that'll surprise people if they haven't looked at them lately. Even Chiang Mai, that built its whole reputation on being a budget option, has gotten a lot less budget friendly than it used to be, because you've got more expats coming in, more remote workers. They've piled in over the last several years. You can add that private insurance on top of the mandatory policy, add the cost of flying home, every once in a while, stretch of family time that maybe Mike wanted, you'd probably want as well. With all that, you're looking at a very different number than the one that gets repeated in comments all the time. I've told you in the past, I'm running about $800-900 a month here in the province, and that's without paying rent. And, we'll make it the basic $1,200 a month across the board. We'll just average that out. And, when you stack Thailand's numbers against that, it's not the runaway bargain that it gets sold as. If you run that out 5 years the way that we did with the last two countries, Mexico and Portugal, and the tax exposure alone, money you could have kept tax-free here, starts eating into what looked like savings on paper. It doesn't wipe Thailand off the map. It just means that the math isn't nearly as lopsided as the headline numbers like to make it look. Here's the honest version, because Thailand's earned some of its reputation. You've got decades of expats before you. That means the hospitals, genuinely excellent, the infrastructure's more mature. There's an established foreigner community in a way a lot of newer destinations can't match yet. I'll give it that much, but none of that cancels out a permanent 90-day obligation that never expires, and none of it undoes a tax bill on your own retirement income that flat out didn't exist 5 years ago. I never had Thailand on my list. I did plan on visiting there after I hit Vietnam. Same as Portugal, it wasn't on my list, but enough of you keep asking about it and bringing it up so it was worth actually doing the math. So I wanted to take a look at it instead of just repeating what everybody else in this space has been saying since before that tax law even existed. If you want to see exactly what I'm spending here every single month, the linked video is below in the description. Also, if this kept you from finding out about that 90-day report the hard way, slap a like on this. YouTube passes it along to the next guy weighing Thailand against everywhere else. And if we can help, that's what we like to do. Be sure and subscribe, because every video on the channel is here to help you figure out if you're actually the guy who can do this before you find out the hard way. Yeah, and I've got the first two videos of this series right here comparing retirement countries. Be excellent to each other. And remember, this was never about the Philippines. It's how you show up when you get here. Have yourself an excellent day, and thanks for watching.